Thank you, Anne-Marie and Mick. Now comes to my part when I get to speak to you, and I'm going to be very, very quick with my presentation when it comes on board. People say, don't just dream the dream, live the dream. Well, this is actually me living my dream, to be in the Scottish Exhibition Conference Centre with school children presenting. I actually said that to Dr. James Payton at York Hill Hospital way back when I first got involved with this. So I didn't really want to work with adults, I wanted to work with children. Adults look at learning behaviours that are difficult to change, but with children, your health is still very good and you're growing and you're developing, and to get in there and prevent the complications of the bad hearts and the high blood pressure and so on was what I wanted to do. So today, thank you very much for helping me live my dream, not just dream it. I want to just share some facts with you. You know, the human body is quite phenomenal, but it can go 3 weeks without water. You can go 3 days without food, but you can only go 3 minutes without air. And as if everyone in here who's had an asthma attack, when you can't breathe, nothing else matters. I just want to give you some little facts that are out there. Now, this is asthma in the millennium is reaching epidemic proportions. That comes from GINA, the Global Initiative for Asthma. Scotland's current figures are quite horrendous. We have 1 in 3 children, 1 in 5 adults. That's all down in Asthma UK. These aren't figures that I've made up. Way back over 100 years ago, there were very few deaths from asthma. It's hardly thought that anybody would die with asthma. We thought it to be quite healthy. But that has changed since the 50s. And I really want to share through some of these quotes. You can just read them, I don't have to read them out to you. But way back in the 19th century, they were speaking about, about asthma and that death is done known during an attack. Way back to the 6th century BC, Black Zoo was saying that the healthy man breathes as if he's not breathing at all. And the important one, we think about carbon dioxide as being bad, but actually it's one of the most important hormones in our body. And Yandel Henderson did a huge amount of innovative work in the mid-20th century, and we now have carbon dioxide introduced when people actually have general anaesthetics to help them waken up. Oxygen can't survive without carbon dioxide. So going on to the school projects, the very first school that I ever went into was Craig Home School over in St Andrews Drive. And I taught children in there from kindergarten right up to senior 6. That wasn't funded, that was just I went in there because my daughter went to that school. Then, as Paul told you, we were at the Celia Sanchez in Havana. And it was quite an amazing time in my life to be there because we actually, if you looked at it, we looked a bit tired because we were working 24-hour days. When I wasn't night shift, Paul was, but we both worked during the day, and every second night one of us had to work through the night to observe the children while they were sleeping. And then we came on to the Glasgow School project, which we've got 10 identified schools, 5 of which have completed, and there's another 2 lined up to start very soon. The funding, we got some money from the Robertson Trust, and then we had the donation from Australia, which has been just quite recently made up to 11,500. And there's myself and Libby, and also Una Mooney was involved with us last year. When we made out costing with the Robertson Trust, it cost 70,000 for all the schools to be taught. So taking all the money we've got, we had a shortfall of 54,000, but we'll get there. What's more important is about what we can do if we really take this project forward. So what we can do is we can make your schools a healthier place for you to learn. And we can do that by having the Buteyko Institute Method introduced into your curriculum. That means it's taught during the day when you're at school. If we do that, then you're going to have less asthma symptoms, less disruptive behaviour, less exclusion, more concentration and an improvement in attendance. And that's actually what was observed when we were at St Columba's, because Miss McGowan spoke about that at the Beardmore. What we can do is we can improve your health by being like St Columba's and breathing yourself free of asthma. All the children with breathing and concentration problems could come along during the day and within school hours be taught the method. And that would reduce a lot of time spent in GP surgeries with practice nurses. Less of the symptoms that you get along with asthma, like snoring and sleep apnea, and a reduction on the dependency on the medication, and an improvement in your general health, your sleep and your sports performance. And I'm sure we're going to hear about that this afternoon. When you're out for your break, you'll see that there are testimonials up, all the original work that's been done by each and every one of the children in this auditorium today. But even more so than just reducing asthma symptoms, if we roll that out a bit further, we can reduce obesity and improve diet by increasing activity. How can we do that? Well, we spend a session speaking about food, and we look at food and we introduce it as a fuel for activity. So we change it from not only just being a social habit, but eating just when you're hungry and looking at when you take that food, it's not just as a pastime, it is fuel for your activity. With that, the result will be a reduction in a lot of the chronic diseases that we have in the west of Scotland: the obesity, the diabetes, the heart problems, the stroke and the vascular diseases. So just to summarise everything, as Paul said to you in his presentation, the BIM is safe, it's valid, it's scientifically sound. It's been trialled in Russia and in the West. It's been published in numerous academic journals. But who reads the academic journals unless you're doing research? And it's described in numerous textbooks. It's taught by accredited BIBH practitioners, and that's really important that you make sure your person is regulated. It gives rapid results. It gives an element of choice, which is what healthcare is all about, and health education, empowering you to make a choice. And it teaches the anti-hyperventilation exercises, and it can be taught from the age of 3 years upwards. And finally, Buteyko does work, but if you don't work, you get no results. If you get good work, you'll get great results.